What up, y'all? We are back with
What up?
another episode
Uh-oh.
of OG Logic. Yeah, you're actually your camera
Yeah,
just
whoa.
disappeared.
Oh,
Ah, there we go. You're back.
yeah, I'm back.
What's good, man? It's been a while, man.
It has
We
been a
missed you,
while.
bro.
Yeah, hello. Hey, I missed you. I mean, come on, you know how it is. Been busy. Hello to everybody that's tuning in and all that. As of last night, I am once again an official resident of Southern California. I'm living in Long Beach, and just got a house right next to the water, or
Nice.
apartment to be fair, not a house, but still,
Hey,
just loving it, man. I'm out here in shorts. It's 9:30 in the morning. I'm out here in shorts and short sleeves. Like, I'm just rocking it.
nice.
Yeah.
What's up, Gracious? Channel member, Gracious. So I'm
Gracious.
giving his hello props because he's a channel member.
Oh, okay. Hello to both.
Walaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, Ado.
All right.
Yeah, and that's awesome though, bro. I mean, to be honest, I was considering coming back to the U.S., but I mean, I guess I don't know, man. Before we get into the topic, what's the world like in comparison to what you see on the news? Because what I see on the news is just like some madness, bro. I be looking at the news and I'm just like, man, screw that stuff.
Yeah, well, here's the thing, man. I mean, you know that I spent a little under a year out in Romania and got to see Europe a little bit, and I was really pumped to go to Europe because the short while that I was there the first time, I was like, oh man, this is so much better, than the people are so much cooler than the United States, and wow, this is so awesome. And and after staying out there, yeah, people are cool and all that, but there are its own drawbacks.
Yeah.
And you just kind of realize, like, okay, well, and this is common sense, but every place has kind of got their own crap, and what crap is acceptable to you is really what it is.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
I do.
But I mean, I was born and raised in Southern California, in Orange County, and I'm used to it. It's home, like the smell, the sights, the atmosphere, essentially. So I mean, if you've got a place where you're comfortable, where it feels like home, that's what counts.
Indeed. I hear you, bro.
Gotta have the gardener going behind me right now. Anyway.
He was like, "Oh, that guy looks like he's on live."
Yeah, right. Oh, he really is. I gotta get up, man. I gotta go find another bench real quick.
Yeah.
Anyways,
but man, that's I completely understand. I had that feeling in Qatar. I was in Qatar. I tried to make it work for me, and it's just those people. They have a different type of like BS that they do over there, and culturally, it's not like something that I could associate with or I could I could vibe with. And so I was just like, man, I got to get out of here.
Yeah. I remember you telling me about that. How like people would try and like talk shit, or like it was like a class type thing, like they were like they would insult as like part of the way of them getting at you.
Yeah.
And that would frustrate the shit out of me if like all that happened all day long was like people were just trying to like low key insult me or like be passively aggressive, like just a dick. I didn't live in a place like that.
It wasn't even bad. I mean, it wasn't even low key. They were just like outright, they're just blatantly they're just disgusting with it, man.
Yeah. See, I'd have a hard time with something like that.
And I think anybody should, how someone could tolerate it. I don't even know, bro. When I started like getting into fights like almost daily, I just said, it's time to pack up and call it a day on this place.
Oh shit! It was like that, huh? Like you were with the motherfucker's ass. Like
yeah.
Oh wow!
I was throwing hands on cats, pulling people out of their car, smacking them across the face. It's just like, yo, I was like, I want to be out here like this.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
My
man here says it. It's there though. He says, yeah, Arabs, a lot of disrespectful stuff to people. They do a lot of disrespectful stuff to people. Absolutely, they do, man. I lived it, and that's one thing they do. They put big pride on dignity and honor, and then they spend a lot of time attacking it on other people, and it's just like, so it's just really it's not a nice way to live. Yeah. So, anyway, I was considering coming back to the U.S. for a little bit, and so I was just wondering, I'm going to definitely come through and visit, so. Yeah.
No, man. I mean, I think it's cool. I mean, it just depends on the area, that you're in. But I think that like I enjoy it. I just do my thing. Go where I want to go and just live my life.
Yeah,
That's it.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely, man. Whatever works, wherever it works. I think that's what's important.
Yeah.
Which brings us
That's right.
kind of into the topic, which is developing confidence.
Yeah.
And really, this is one of those things that develops confidence, which is traveling and trying something new.
Yeah.
And without doubt, like definitely moving, like from Southern California to Romania, that's definitely like trying something new. It's like,
Well, one thing with me is like I've been confident in myself for a really long time. I try and recognize what I can do and what I can't. And I roll with it. And if I know I can do it, then I do it. I think one of the things that's key to developing confidence, and it's like goes
was that
along
me?
with what you were just saying about confidence. I don't know what happened. Did I go out?
I just froze. I don't know if it was you, or it was me. There was just
I
kind
don't
of a
know.
freeze there.
Uh-oh. It's breaking up. I don't know if that's me breaking up or you.
My side's coming through fine. It must be your side. You're coming through smooth and
Okay.
everything on my
Okay.
side. Oh,
Whatever.
there you go. Now
But
you're going choppy.
okay. Okay. Good. Okay. It might be me. But yeah, man, experience. You got to get out and do stuff. Talking about new things. That's
Yeah,
the key to building confidence.
absolutely. One of the things that actually built like confidence in me was those two things in specific that I can like distinctly know, I can conclusively in my mind put together with personal confidence and these two actions. And one was fighting, and the other was travel. And since we're on the topic of travel, I guess we should go ahead and start with there. And we actually done a few shows on travel, but I don't think anybody's ever seen it from or dealt with it from like how it affects your mindset. And when I've traveled, I mean, I've been to 46 countries in my lifetime.
Jesus.
And yeah, that's what I said. Yeah, it's a lot. And a lot of times I was just like, yo, I got this cash. There's that place on the map, and I always want to check it out. Look like some cool photos. And I go with it.
Yeah.
And, I did this stuff back when there was no Airbnb, back when there was no booking.com. And so sometimes that just was like, I'm going to jump on a plane. I didn't even like Google hotels. I just showed up in the airport. Where are you going to stay at? I'm just like, what, you guys don't have hotels here? And they're just like, you don't have a hotel? I'm like, no, I'm going to find one. I'm going to get in a taxi and I'm going to find one. And sometimes I ended up in really shady hotels. And other times, it turned out to be like, just, wow, look, this is some bling,
Yeah.
But
Totally.
that unpredictability of like just doing something unplanned, spontaneous, and making it work and actually enjoying yourself at the same time, man, that does miracles for you as a man.
Oh yeah, it does. When I was over in Romania, I went by myself, and I didn't have like people showing me around or energies. It was like I had to go exploring, and I had to, even though there were people that spoke English, I had to try and figure out a language. You know what I mean? And find the spots and see what was good and what was not, and kind of read people and figure them out. That all that goes with the confidence. We're talking about. You said something about the two things you can equate confidence with right off the top is fighting and travel, right?
Yeah.
But essentially, that just boils down to people. It boils down to dealing with people. You know what I mean? And how you're going to deal with them. Are you going to whoop their ass? Are you going to have a friendly conversation? Are you going to do some business? Like what are you going to do? So it's confidence is a lot of it's just dealing with people, and then if it's not people, then it's just your skill set. What can you do? Can you start a business? Yeah, I can fucking start a business. Can you fix that conveyor? Yeah, I can fix that conveyor. I mean, like stupid shit. You know what I'm saying? Like to where it's either people skills or it's just your skill set. I think I think you're right. I think this gardener sees that I'm on a live stream, and he's just inching his way. Now he's with a weed whacker. I'm walking down this way. He's coming after me. Jesus Christ. Let me get out of here real quick, man. I think you're right. I think he does see me.
Yeah, you found a new
Hey,
fan. Yeah,
shit.
and one thing, since I do relationship stuff, I mean, actually, this equates into relationship also.
Yeah.
Because just imagine, a woman always want a competent guy. And if you can actually like take care of your travel plans on your own, on the fly, you don't think you can handle like, quote unquote, I mean, even though Muslims don't date, but you can't handle a date, you can't do something and plan something, and make it like work out like in a completely awesome way in your own town,
Exactly.
with a woman. Come on.
Exactly.
So this stuff actually, when things don't go your way, but you can make it work, traveling to a place where you are the only person speaking your language, or there's very few people speaking your language. Okay, it's a little bit different now. I mean, when I was doing all this traveling, English was actually like, it was still a huge deal that people spoke English. Now it's kind of like, why don't you speak English?
Yeah. Right.
But that doesn't mean that there's still places like you said in Romania where it's like, it's not widespread. So
oh yeah, and to be fair, that's just like, a lot of the English, like just using Romania as an example, and I suppose it's this way with a lot of other countries too. I was in the metropolis. I was in Bucharest, which is far and away, like it's the capital. It's the big place. So yeah, a lot of people there spoke English because I mean it was just kind of the center. You know what I mean? But if I were to go out into like a village somewhere or leave Bucharest, probably the same for Germany too, or whatever, it would be harder to find people that speak English, Yeah.
So, I mean, that stuff right there would, it does absolutely. And you notice that also people who travel and people who don't. I mean, there's even in terms of conversation and just like, the mindset, you can actually like be like, this guy ain't been around the world. This guy ain't been places. You could tell when a guy or girl hasn't been places just by the level of discourse, because they have a very limited worldview. The internet won't build your worldview. Actually, traveling the world will build it.
Right.
I've been to China on Instagram. Yeah, okay, buddy.
Yeah. No, you know what? That's very true, man. I mean, and that's anywhere. Like I can tell you all about California, and I can show you like the live stream of California and all this stuff, SoCal or whatever. But unless you're down here by the beach and you're, hearing those waves and smelling the air and all that, you ain't gonna know about it. You see the people, and all that stuff. It's like, well, I know what California is because I watch the news and I see it on TV. Okay.
Yeah.
You know all about it then, bud. Like,
yeah.
So, I mean, the traveling does definitely bring out some different types of confidences.
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah.
Yassine X says, I think self-affirmation is big. I asked him to describe what he means by self-affirmation, and he said saying or writing compliments to yourself. I think that only works when you're actually like in the field. This is my humble opinion. I don't know. I've never done this or practiced this, but I mean, it's like I've mentally done this. Like, yo, you got this. You got this.
Yeah.
Like I'm in the gym and I'm lifting, and I know it's a new weight, and it's a new heavy weight that I'm going to be working at. Because what I do is when I work out, I usually do 4 sets of 10, and then when that becomes easy, I'll switch up the weight and I'll increase it, and then I'll go down to 4 sets of 8 until that becomes easy, and then I go up to 4 sets of 10 at that weight, which becomes difficult to take again, and then I just repeat that process. And so in that process of like going up weight, I'm like, yo, lightweight. I got that from Ronnie Coleman, lightweight. He used to always scream around the gym, lightweight, with that crazy little voice he had with that big old body. So in that sense, I think self-affirmation can work, but to actually just like, I'm awesome. And you write that on the wall while you're the fry cook at McDonald's, that might, you might want to reconsider as to whether or not that's actually, a valid strategy.
You know what's funny is like you say about the weights, right? And doing that. And I kind of have this thing to where I like being able to do between like 6 and like, I don't know, 6 and maybe 10 reps, to where just like you said, if I can lift the weight more than 10 times, I increase the weight.
Yeah.
You just gotta
push it.
Yeah.
So I mean, maybe self-affirmation can work in that regards, but I'm not really sure. It's not something. I mean, someone in the comments, let me know if self-affirmation works for you. I've never tried it, so I mean, I've never needed to. I just like, yo, this needs to be done, and I just do it, and I've never need to like really kind of pep talk myself. I mean, I give it that whole, you got this, like, okay. And I also said fighting. I do this in fighting also. Yeah. It's like, sometimes I'm gonna get in the ring with a guy, and I was just like, yo, this dude, he's like, state champion, going for the nationals. They got those in Germany here also. So he's basically an amateur level boxer. I'm just like, ooh, I got this. Yeah. And I go inside the ring, and it's like, it's like, hey, this ain't actually that bad. You know what I mean? I mean, they're ducking and weaving and, giving them some pops and smacks and whatnot. And basically, like, it builds your confidence, in a way that nothing else can. And I'm actually quite proud of myself. Most of the time, the only way I lose in terms of boxing is my cardio. And then I just got to take a knee. It's like, because I start getting cramps. I'm just like, yo, I can't fight.
Bro, I feel you on that. Like, yeah, no, the cardio is a killer for sure. Like, I mean, that right there. I tell people all the time that like with boxing and all that, like the hardest, to me anyway, the most difficult, hardest thing about it is the fucking gas tank, bro. Cardio. Like, I mean,
absolutely.
Hey,
that fight cardio is a beast.
Yeah, and the simple truth of the matter is like 99.9% of the people like on this planet have not fought for more than 3 minutes straight. They just have not. Like, I mean, that, like, a 3-minute round by itself, if you're really going at it, will cast the shit out of you to where you'll just be like, oh my God.
Yeah.
So
minute and a half in, and you're like, what the heck? When's the bell?
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. So, but also, guys, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
Okay, but guys, fighting. Fighting is an absolute confidence builder. I mean, I think fighting, and I'm talking about structured fight. I'm not talking about going out and getting in a street fight, whatever else. I'm talking about going to boxing, Muay Thai, jiu-jitsu, whatever else. The effect it has on a man's mindset. I don't know how it works on women, but on a man's mindset, I've never seen a guy come out of it worse. Never seen a guy go into a combat sport and come out worse. You got people with bad attitudes. They're always going to be in any sport, obviously. Right. But I've never seen a person come out in terms of personal development worse than when they were.
Yeah, right. Absolutely.
And the process is basically this. You come in and you start training. You start learning a new skill. You get confident in it, when you start learning your competence and whatnot, and the moves, whatnot. And then when you actually get into sparring, here's where, and this is why I tell, and I've been saying it for years now, I tell guys to go get into a combat sport that forces you to spar. And that's because there is, and I don't care what anybody says. I don't care who it is on Twitter. I don't care who it is. When you get into that ring, there's always a degree of fear, no matter how good you are. There's always that fear, but you do it anyway. And then when you actually beat the dude up, and you're like, oh man, that was easy. You know what I'm saying? That wasn't so bad. And then at some point in your mind, from working, and I talked about this on a recent show, your mind gets adjusted very easily to any situation you put it into. So, like, I was working in cold weather recently. And obviously because it was winter in Germany, and I mean, it got really cold, but my hands were cold and I could feel the cold, and it was like uncomfortable, but it wasn't uncomfortable. I don't know if you know what I mean. I could feel the numbness. I could feel the pain, but my body had become so used to it that I didn't feel it anymore. Do you know what I mean? It was just like a little, it was like background noise. It was, it was like, yeah, okay, it's there, but it's like, it's not really a problem. And I could work with like what would normally have in the first week, like just been terrible pain and discomfort for my hands in the cold. Fighting is the same way. Your mind becomes adjusted to that fear and to that doubt and to that self-doubt and whatever else. And eventually it's just like, yeah, okay, well, this is part of the game. This is part of the mental game. Your body's become used to it. Your mind's become used to it. And what happens is it hardens all aspects of your life. You lose your fear of losing your job. You lose your fear of like, finding a new place, doing this, doing that. Because it's just like your mind's operant condition is, I've dealt with fear constantly and consistently to the point that, you know what, this really can't hurt me. And that fear confident, You know
what's crazy is like with the whole fighting thing, I mean, they're like, don't get me wrong, getting punched in the nose or maybe getting hit in the eye, yeah, that hurts or whatever. But like a lot of times, like getting hit ain't as bad as people think.
Nope, it's really not.
You know what I mean? Like getting punched in the face really ain't as bad as you think it is. You know, people fear it because it's like it's their face, you know, and they're like, oh my God, you know, and like especially someone who's never like been in a fight or never, you know, they don't want to get punched in the face, but the actual act of it ain't that bad.
No, it's not. You know,
Yeah.
and I say this all the time. I don't say it live, but I think maybe my wife can attest to it. No, I don't think she can. When it comes to fighting, I just think I want to fight, win or lose. I don't care. I'm not saying when I get into the ring, I don't always win. I don't always win. You know, I don't always lose. Sometimes it's draws, but I don't care win or lose. I just want to get in the ring and I just want to experience that. You know, that feeling. I don't know. If you don't fight, you don't know it. I don't even know how to describe it. It's like, what is it, man? I don't know, whatever it is. I love it. And it changes. It happens on a micro level. It's like after every fight, something changes about yourself. You learn something new in the ring. You learn something new about yourself, what you're capable of, what you're not capable of, what you need to work on, what you can work on, what you can improve with. It just changes everything. And that changes your perspective on the world also. And I don't think that's accidental. I mean, when we look at humanity in general, men in specific, we are civilized savages. Our history is just filled with blood. Human history is filled with combat and blood, murder, wars, whatever else. And I don't, it's not accidental. It's even in the Quran where, and this is just for the Muslims, even in the Quran, when Adam was created, alayhi salam, and Allah told Jibreel, alayhi salam, to go, or he told the angels to go and look at Adam. And then what did the angels say? It says, did you create one who will shed blood on the earth? Meaning these are going to be a violent people. Yeah. It's an intrinsic part of us, to the point that even before Adam was dried, he was still clay. The violence and the viciousness of us was like, just inherently seen by the angels. I think it's a part of us, and I don't think it's something that we shouldn't foster. I'm not saying go out and murder and kill people, but it's definitely a part of human nature that has to be just at some point fed and fostered and like put there in order for us to function properly. Because when we don't, I mean, gosh, look at what happens.
Yeah, well, the big part of violence isn't, I mean, if you're doing it right per se, it's not perpetrating violence on another for the sake of
Absolutely.
making them a victim. It's defending yourself from becoming a victim. It's defending your family or defending your whichever. Violence doesn't have to be strictly offensive. And I know that may sound crazy because people are, well, what do you mean offensive? You're fucking beating somebody up. No, but I mean, if you're, there's this thing, this story, and I'm not going to get it right, but it's this guy that he comes to this warrior, right? And he wants to learn how to be this great warrior. So this warrior says he'll teach him or whatever, but like he's in the garden all the time doing stuff and doing whichever. Mm-hmm. Guy says, you're this great warrior and you talk about this and that, but yet you're in the garden and all this. So why is this? And he says, it's better to be a warrior in a garden than a gardener in a war.
Absolutely.
And that's the truth, man. Like, it's better to have the skill and not ever use it than it is to just not. I mean, I had a dude one time in his 50s. I think I told you this before, but this dude was in his 50s, and like somebody insulted him in front of like his wife and kids. He was at some restaurant or something, and his wife, like, I guess it said, he was like, "Shut up, bitch," like, just, I mean, full on just disrespected dude, right?
Wow.
And dude comes to me the next day. He's like, hey, Bobby, I need you to, he tells me, what happened and everything. I'm like, oh, yeah. And he's like, I need you to show me some moves. And I'm like, what do you mean show you some moves, bro? He's like, can you show me, like, I'm like, no, I can't show you. I'm not, because I'm not gonna be liable for that shit. You know what I mean? Yeah. Oh yeah, here, do this, right? But to me, and he told me, he goes, I've never been in a fight. And that tripped me out, dude. I was like, really? Like, not even like when you're a kid, not even nothing. Like, I don't know, man. I mean, it's cool to be peaceful. Don't get me wrong, but there's a difference between, choosing peace and just not having a choice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and yeah, that's a big point. I talked about this in my book, The Mad Monkey, that every man has this, like, the mad monkey inside him. It's not just an Abuamerican exclusive thing. I think every man who's watching the show or who will watch the show can admit and can say that, you know, there's that little inner anger where it says, like, you know, I want to do harm to that person. That's how angry you get at them. And it's that burning rage. Nobody can tell me they haven't experienced this. From the most passive aggressive guy, and he just expresses it in this passive aggressive wimpiness, or a guy who is just like, you know, is like, you know, I'm gonna go knock this guy's teeth out, and he actually goes does it. Now these are two extreme spectrums. Let's try and pick a middle path here. You know, don't go knocking people's teeth out, and don't go like, you know, I'm gonna go tell Ted, the boss, you know, I'm gonna go talk to Mr. HR. You know, don't be that guy either.
Yeah.
But it's like, I don't see a problem, as we said, you know, from a legal perspective, in terms of, you know, staying within the realms of the law, of like fostering that little monster inside. And the only way you can do that is through catharsis, and that catharsis is combat sports, and that makes you a different man entirely. If you want to talk about just I'll give you an example. I had a recent one, and it can remove wisdom, but at the same time, sometimes that's necessary in order to gain respect. And I'll explain the situation to you. So I'm currently in construction. I can't say that I'm gonna stay in this much longer, but because, you know, I'm working on 100% self-employment time. So there's some guy going around snitching, you know. Abuamerican's always on his phone, and I'm on my phone. I'm looking at my monitors, I'm looking at my social media, I'm doing like this, but my job is done. I mean, 100% my job is done. I go in, I bust my butt in the first couple of hours, you know, and then I'm just chill the rest of the day. And the guy's like, oh, you know, this, that, the other. But he doesn't come to me, you know. He's from a second team, and he feels that his team is doing my job. And I'm like, no, my job is done, dude. You ain't here trying to pick up my slack. You know what I mean? I wouldn't let that happen, because, you know, that's just a shame on me if you got to come in and you got to do my job. So he goes to the boss, and he doesn't go to the top boss. He goes like to the boss, you know, and he snitches, you know. And so the site supervisor that's above me, he comes to me and he's like, hey, you know, there was a complaint that you was on your phone and this, that, the other. I was like, man, who said that? And he's like, it's not important. And then someone comes over and he just walks over and says, hey, this guy over here, he said, like, you know, he went and told everybody that we were on the phone. He said that, huh? I was like, okay. So mental note was checked. So I'm walking, and I see that dude, and he's walking with the site supervisor. And I just like, hold up. I said, hey, come here, man. I just stopped them both. I stopped him and the site supervisor. I said, as the site supervisor doesn't know I'm about to do this. I said, I found out you run around here snitching to people above us, talking about I'm on my phone and whatnot. I said, hey, listen here, man. I said, dude, this is not what men do. We don't go around like, you know, snitching and tattletale or whatever else. You got a problem with the way I work, you talk to me. You come to me. And then if that doesn't fix it, I said, then you can go to the boss. I said, but you just running off, you know, running your mouth to other people like this. I said, that ain't on. I said, that ain't on. I said, if I got a problem with you like I do right now, I'm coming to your face right here. I said, you see what I'm doing right here? I said, this is how we handle business as men. And the dude was so freaked out, and the boss was all like, oh, he's about to knock this guy out. But at that moment, I didn't care about consequence, whatever else. And now dudes, they treat me and I was saying this on a tweet, actually, that the Russian dudes on the site, they came around because I chewed this guy out. And this guy's like, he's a top level dude. I chewed this guy out. They coming around taking selfies with me because I wouldn't shoot this dude out. I'm like, what you doing? They're like, oh man, you're awesome. I was like, why? He's got these dudes under his thumb, you know? So was it wise? Probably not. But I'm not scared. And I'm not scared of losing the job, because you know what? I work enough to like take care of myself, you know what I mean? To where it's like, if I need another job, you know, I can find another one. It changes the way you deal with the world. It gives you a level of confidence that you walk through without fear. Sorry.
Yeah. Okay, look, I'm gonna have to bounce because I have an appointment here, but I just want to say that you know, not to sound like you know, an asshole or a big head or whatever, but you know, all those riots and altercations I was in prison, like my confidence with that type of shit is just through the roof, you know. And it was just like experience. Like I'll be with my daughter. Like I remember when she was younger, she would get scared sometimes when we were out at night, and I tell her, I'd be like, Sophie, I'm the one that goes bump in the night, not these fools.
Indeed.
I go, you ain't got nothing to worry about, you know? So it's like, and it's true like that, bro. It's where it's like, you get that experience like that, and you just really start thinking like, hey, nothing can touch me, you know.
That's it.
But look, I got to bounce. I'm going to pull in right now, and I have this appointment. Everybody, it was cool talking. We just started a little late. I hate leaving this early, but I got to jump out.
Yeah,
So,
that was on me starting
cheers,
late. All right,
man.
bro.
Yeah. Okay, so peace. Good talking to y'all. And
oh, that was fast. He's like, he didn't get to finish his buy. Yeah, we started late because of me, guys. But anyway, in building like self-confidence and all these types of things, man, these two things are probably the most paramount. And I think I would actually put fighting, because I love combat sports anyway, but I think I put fighting above travel. And I'll tell you why I hold this to be true. Because when you go to a foreign place, I've seen people that just, oh, that person's walking behind us. Okay, so whatever. This dude better be really good. It's like, if not, I'm going to crush his skull. You can't go into an environment, and a brand new environment, and feel comfortable and confident if you can't defend yourself. That doesn't mean you're Superman, and nobody's telling you to walk around the earth like you bulletproof or something, you know. But at the same time, you have to have that mentality and that understanding and the actual competence and skills to actually believe that you can protect yourself from the average person. Let me tell you something. Pull a year constantly and consistently of combat sports where you're sparring, 80% of the world are victims. You'll come to find out very quickly how many men are victims, because you're going to find out that trained men, you're beating trained dudes up. And so the untrained guy is going to just be like, look, this guy right here with his, 915 BMI can't run up like three pair of steps. He can't, let alone a flight of steps, without losing his breath. What's this guy going to do to me? You know what I mean? So these things, guys, building your confidence, I think what you have to do is you have to actually put yourself in like uncomfortable positions until those yeah, absolutely. Until those uncomfortable situations become comfortable. And then you have to keep on doing this. And really, when we look at like anything, after that, it becomes less scary. And I think, and I'll start with fighting again, I think it's more important with fighting than business, because business, you lose money potentially in a bad business transaction, but money can be regained. We know this. But when you get into a combat situation, you're worried about your actual physical health, safety, and whatnot. If something's going to happen to you or not. That's far scarier than losing some money that you can, like, you can work, you can trade or whatever else. Me, I can mine and get my money back. I've lost money, in business with people. But did I give up trying to do business? Oh, man, I lost money in the deal, so I'm going to give up because I might lose more. Well, yeah, you always understand that there's a risk in everything you do. There's a risk you might lose in a fight. And just that mentality carries over into a lot of different areas to where it's like it just builds your confidence in a way that is just not equal. So we see, and especially, what up, man? Quab, what up, Qua? And especially we see this on Twitter, where we got guys who they've become, I'm looking for a word. They've become proficient at making money. But then when you look at the way they talk, you can tell they're not really proficient at much else. And it's like, and so they've built up a skill and an ability, and they're good at what they do. Fair play to them, but you can tell it's like, it's so single dimensional. And if you can't see that, then it's because you actually haven't put yourself in a position to where it's like you're in a combat sport. Now, then we see some of these same guys, and I'm not trying to point anybody out, but I see it consistently on Twitter, especially, you could spot, just like like when I was talking to Bobby and I was saying, you could spot people who haven't traveled. You could spot people who haven't really fought consistently. And so it's like, now you got people out here that are making money, and with that money, they're traveling. And it's like, okay, he's got like some stuff down. He's getting his confidence down. But you can still see like in his writing, it's like, yeah, this dude don't know what's up. It's like, if I roll up on this guy, his watch is mine. I'm not saying I shake someone down for their watch, but I'm just saying you can tell this is the type of guy you don't want to end up in like a strange place in a dark, corner of the world where actually all the fun might be happening. But this guy's like, this ain't the guy to be there with, That's the guy to take with you when you got a business deal or something going on, and he's actually confident in that particular area. Fighting helps you in all those areas, because although you might not be good at business, when you go into that business meeting, you ain't scared. Now, does that mean you can't lose money? No, absolutely you can lose money. And that's why you need competence, and it needs to be all rounded. But I think losing that initial fear, the biggest step to losing your fear and gaining confidence, is combat sports. And I'm going to stick to that till the day I die. I've never seen Anybody. Look at what's his name? The Tates, Andrew Tate. You think he runs around talking the way he talks because he can't fight? Just because he makes himself like, what did he say he was on? Like 62,000 a day or something now? You think all that talk came from there? Or do you think he had that talk back when he was like the world champion? He didn't have all that money. It came from like all that talk and that attitude came from being a world champion fighter. Now he could just like all around, have that talk and that confidence and that, bluster, for lack of a better term. Because what? Because he knows how to fight. He can handle himself in any situation. And so it's the same thing with you. It's the same thing with me. It's the same thing with anybody else. You have to get like that nice round level of confidence in all things, And I think fighting is the best place to start as a man. It just changes you as a man. I've never seen a man that hasn't changed for the better with combat sports. I said that earlier too. Adel says a lot of people are deathly scared of physical pain. Fighting helps you realize it's really not that bad. And it's absolutely true. There's points where it's like that pain becomes like, and I hate to sound like sadomasochistic, whatever you call it, but there's some pain I actually enjoy. It's like you feel that pain and you're just like, yeah, I'm gonna go back. You don't want to go back for pain, but you want to go back and you want to actually, do better. You want to be better. And that pain somehow is just like a reminder. It's a storage point for that anger and that hatred, and it gives you a place, like I said, catharsis, to actually let it out in a good way, as opposed to going out, and doing something stupid and hurting somebody or getting yourself hurt. Yeah, Adel with the comments today. Yeah, and he's right. He's like, getting punched in the face is not something I'd want to do 24/7. No, I don't advise it either. You might want to learn some head movement, Maybe someone should have told that to Ronda Rousey, but it's really not as bad as you think it is prior to getting punched in the face. Absolutely. Unless it's with bare knuckles. Bare knuckles actually hurt, and I don't advise getting punched in the face with bare knuckles. It's really painful. Your teeth hurt. Punch people in the face with bare knuckles, it hurts because you punch someone in the mouth and then the lips are very thin. I don't know. I'm just talking here, guys. If you punch someone in the mouth, it's very painful because the lips are very thin and your teeth will cut your knuckles. It's designed to cut meat, and your hands are technically just a little bit of meat and bone underneath it, and it hurts, guys. It's not a nice feeling. Do the teeth sometimes breaks? Yes, absolutely. But it's very painful. You don't want someone's saliva, blood in your cut hands. It's not fun. What's this here? All UFC fighters walk with a certain amount of confidence. Most humble beings aren't afraid of any situation. Yeah. That's another thing. Fighters don't walk around generally, like trying to get in physical confrontations with a bunch of people all the time because they don't have the need. This is part of confidence. It's like you don't really feel the need to actually like fight somebody, but you never see these type of guys either, like backing down. They'll be like, okay, what's up, man? They're not gonna like push a fight, but at the same time, it's like, oh, you want to fight? All right, let's do this, man. What's up? And so you could tell also there, most people who fight aren't like those, let's fight type of guys. So yeah, it changes the way you deal with situations also. I did Taekwondo for 4 years. Yeah, I did Taekwondo for 8 years. I steer towards de-escalation, but I have the confidence in having the fight. Yeah. I mean, it's not only about fighting, obviously, but I think fighting changes your mentality. As I said, it puts you in a state of like, having to deal with your fears, your doubts of the situation. What does this guy know? What does this guy not know? What can he do? What can he not do? What can I do to him? And this is like, anybody who goes into a ring, like, and they're only thinking, what can I do to him? Or what am I going to do to him? They haven't spent a lot of time fighting, and they quickly learn, one way or another, unless they're like, some sort of world champion, that you can't go into the world like that. And it actually, it affects when you go into business, when you go to a job interview, when you go wherever, it's the same process of doubts, fears, whatever else. And then at some point it switches off, where it's like, it's like, oh, this guy's visiting from another boxing club, they say he's good, go ahead and get in the ring with him. So okay, you think for a minute, oh, this is gonna be interesting, this guy's got a totally different style, I never sparred against this guy, I don't know what it's gonna be. You get in the ring, but you get in the ring anyway, right? You just be like, all right, whatever, mouthpiece in, let's go, gloves on, all right, let's see what's up. you're worried. You're like, this guy might beat me up. What am I going to do? Well, you know, and it's the same thing when you go into that interview, or if you go here or you go there, or you know, situations with your girl, you're just like, all right, what's coming now? All right, let's do this. You know, you just go into it, and it's good for you as a man. It's something you absolutely need to have. Yes, indeed. Does he have a weapon? Is he alone? All questions you have to take into account before you get into something. Absolutely. You know, dudes, you want your confidence to like shoot through the roof? Go get yourself into a combat sport. I don't care what it is. If it's Muay Thai, if it's Jiu-Jitsu, if it's Sambo, if it's boxing, something that forces you to face other men who, in a benign way, if this makes sense, intend you harm. You know, they intend you harm, where it is basically it's in a controlled environment. It's not like a battlefield. Some guys like, you know, trying to shoot you in the face, or, you know, cut your head off or something. But, you know, if there was, all right, there it goes. I don't know. My internet just went crazy. That's weird. Yeah. What was I saying? A situation where it's like, if there was no ref, if there was no situation, no controlled environment, you could actually, you know, end up in a really, really, really bad situation, like on a street fight or something like that. And that's how I have to view these matches when you're in your fight clubs or whatever else. It changes your perspective on the world. Back to travel. I think travel comes second. You know, I'm going to give these an order of operation now that we basically covered some of the basics here. Now that we basically covered some of the basics. So I think travel comes second, because travel is like the unknown. Even if you're using, like in this day and age, and I was saying like back in the days, I didn't have, what was it, Airbnb, booking.com. I use those things like crazy now. Okay, now that it's the Rona. Ooh, you know, it's terrifying Rona. You know, now that it's the Rona and I can't travel, I don't really, you know, use that stuff that much. But there's still that unknown. You're going to a new city, new country, whatever else, you know, how's it going to be? How are the people going to be? And, you know, not everything. I don't view the world in a sense of race, you know, but sometimes I even think like, you know, okay, how's my experience going to be there, you know, as a person of color? You know, I have to actually think that sometimes, like, you know, because I've had people try and like act, you know, crazy towards me just because I'm black, you know. Then it's like at the same time, they act crazy from like a car window driving by really fast, you know. they won't get in your face. But still, you have to think about these things also, you know. I read stories about dudes, like there was some story, some guy, he went to Greece. He's a black guy, black American, and he, you know, he was, I don't know, talking to some girls or something, some local guys, and like that, they ended up killing him. You know, these are things you got to think about also. It's like the environment you're going to end up in. These are unpredictables, unknowns, or whatever else. You know, how are you going to deal with it? So these are all things, you know, that can help you change the way you view the world in traveling, and in changing not only your worldview, but your internal mechanisms in terms of, you know, confidence and competence. Yeah. Really, I can't think of much after that. Business is probably the third thing. You know, people fear losing money for obvious reasons. You know, I mean, nobody wants to be, you know, constantly, you know, losing money and fearing poverty and all these types of stuff. But then no risk, no reward. If you're not willing to risk something, even if there's like a low risk in it, just putting your energy towards something. When I say your energy, meaning your work, you know, you spend hours upon hours, you know, you spend like 10, 15, 20 hours, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 hours, 100 hours doing something, building something, making something. You don't want to lose that time. And this is why I find it amazing that people actually got time to actually just sit around and play video games all the time. I mean, I'm sure it's fun. I used to play video games, but you know, you're not building anything. So why not build something and try and flog it, AKA sell it. Nahid Ahmed, thank you for the $1 super chat. Jazakallah khair. You keep $1, £1. Oh, there you go. Now we talking, man. Forget them dollars. Thanks for the donation, bro. Good looking out. You not further asks, why do you not do videos with Gable or Romani anymore? Time. It's time. His time zone is very, very late. And so like right now, I think it would be like 1 or 2 a.m. for him if we were to do a show. you know. And so for this right now, this here is my ideal time. I mean, even now, I was supposed to start at 5:30. I usually start my shows at 5:30. I've been starting them at 6:30 lately. I might just start them at 6, but you know, it's a matter of like time windows and time zones. Gabriel is like in Malaysia. They're the heck of hours ahead of us. So it's probably 1:00 or after 1:00 in the morning right now for him. And the guy works just like me. You know, we both got work lives. And so he can't be up at 1:00 in the morning, you know, doing live shows. I'd like to do shows with him. We recently did a show together with the 3 Muslims on Sunday. And, you know, I still talk to him. I've got a men's community and Gabriel's in that community, you know, so we're there. He posts in there, you know, every once in a while. So I talk to him, you know, here and there on private chat and whatnot, you know, on the Telegram side of the game. So I'm still in contact with them and we still kind of quote unquote work together. But, you know, with videos, it's just there's no congruence in our times. You know, it's just our time zones are too far apart, unfortunately. But I like the brother. Akram wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. So in terms of business, I mean, nobody likes to lose money, but then no risk, no reward. And I think this is one of the problems with money when like, let's just look at like another aspect. And, you know, of course it's haram for Muslims to gamble, but I think this is part of the addiction part of gambling. It's like when a person like puts that high risk in gambling and dude, just don't gamble, please. I'm just saying. And it's like they get a win. And so it makes them feel great, makes them feel confident that he can win again. Well, actually, you just need to actually take out the gambling aspect and put in calculated risk aspect, switch the two, the gamble for calculated risk, and then go into business. You start making money. What happens? You get happy. You get confident, you know? So now, subscribe to me for no reason. What a name. You can subscribe to me and I'll give you some like, you know, some content that I don't give nobody else. So you got a reason to subscribe to me. Subscribe to my channel. You get some you know, you get some material that ain't nobody else gonna see. But anyway, subscribe to me for no reason. He says, Salam, how do you deal with insults, put downs, and other verbal attacks? I always got something ready. I'm just always ready with the counter. You know, I don't know when I got good at it, but it's like someone says something stupid and I can just fire back right off the hip. And so I'll just hit like they'll shoot something like about being black and I'll shoot something back like really hard. Like in Germany, like here where I am, someone will make a joke about blacks and I'll make a joke about like being a Nazi, you know, but it'll be funny. It won't be like, you know, oh, you're a Nazi, you know, not something like that. I'm just like, you know, it's like some crazy joke about his grandfather being Hitler or something. Dudes, they're just like shocked. I always got some comeback. And if he gets insulted, then we come back to what I talked about earlier. What are you going to do? You're going to beat me up, dude? What are you going to do? You know, so I always got a comeback on the ready. I'm just on a fly type of guy like that. You ask me to give you a joke right now, I can't do it. You throw something crazy, I could probably throw something back at you. But it's just how I am. So for me, I always got something on ready. And I'm just like, who is this guy anyway? And even if it is a good insult, and I'm just like, oh, okay, that was a good one. It's like, this dude, he's like a real dickhead. Then it's just like, I don't even care. Because like, who is this dude? You know, am I going to see him again? So then another thing that I could do is like, I don't like really allow insults and all that stuff to happen and verbal attacks in general. I just don't let it happen. If it's someone I constantly work with, I'll just fire back at them really hard until they give up. Because here's the reality. I don't know where you're from in the world, but Americans were good at like just going back and forth. Back when I was growing up, we had the yo mama jokes and we would go at each other about your mama and how fat your mama is and this, that, the other, and how ugly your mama is. So we got vicious at like ribs and shooting back at people. So you don't want to take on an American in this game. Just don't do it. Okay. We're horribly vicious at it. But then if it's an absolute stranger, I'll just run up on him. I'm like, yo, what's up, man? You got some sort of problem with me? Do I know you from somewhere? Because now you're just opening the door to someone like, you know, insulting you and whatever else. And, you know, that can have a knockoff effect where it's like that person does it and someone else sees it. Now they think it's okay. And then so everybody in that circle starts, you know, trying to mess with you. And you end up in a situation where it's like, you know, you're in an aggressive, hostile environment with everybody because what are you going to do? You're going to run up on everybody? So that first person who does it, you got to nip that in the bud. Classic example, construction again. And this happened just like maybe 3 weeks ago. I'm like doing my measurements or whatever else because I'm doing some measurements for the site. You know, some engineer asked for some goofy measurements. So I'm coming out of this room and we've got our equipment lined up outside the door. And this guy, he wants to He wants to just basically do the walling. He wants to put up like what is it? You know, that pasty cement. And he wants to put it on the wall. What the frick is that called in English? I don't even know what it's called in English. So anyway, he wants to put the cement on the wall. And he's like, is this your equipment out here? And I was like, yeah, that's our equipment. And he's like, all right, move it right now. Move it. It needs to be gone right now. And I mean, he's like being really aggressive. And I was like, whoa. I said, hold up. I said, what? He says, move this stuff right now. I said, okay, hold up. You know what? You need to go talk to this dude over here. And it was basically, it's like the site lead that's training me. You know, so he's training me. And so I said, you know, you need to go talk to him. And I gave him his name. He says, I don't know who that is. That's not my problem. This your problem is moving this equipment. And I was like, hold up, dude. I said, hey, go talk to the site lead. And I just went up a little. I mean, I literally like nearly touching his face. I said, hey, dude, F you. And I didn't use the F you word. I used the actual term. I said, cough and get out of my face. I said, dude, if you don't cough and get out of my face, dude, cough. I just kept on saying, I was like, cough. He was like, oh, you gonna talk to me like that? I said, who you think you're talking to? I said, I'm right here. I said, I'm right here and you talking crazy to me. I said, so just take your guess and cough. What did he do? He fucked off. And him and his whole team were laughing. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Is it sinful? Yeah, absolutely. But you know what? His team started laughing at him. His team at first was kind of like feeling kind of confident. You could see they were feeling themselves because this dude was run up on me. And don't mistake this, dudes. You have to understand something. If you're a big black dude like me, people will try to cut their teeth on you. Like, watch this. I can show off, you know, how tough I am to this big black guy. And he's just going to be like, oh, okay. People will try and cut their teeth on you. Ain't happening. Now, if I had let that disrespect fly, what do you think his whole team would have done? 8, 9 guys. Do you think for an instant they would talk to me differently if they thought he could get away with it? Absolutely not. Now his team is all smiles, completely cool. And he's Mr. Walk by me like this every single day. His team's like, hey, how you doing? Well, hey, what's up, guys? How you doing? I can now be completely cool and calm on the site. I can be chill with these guys because I set that boundary. There is a certain way you can talk to me and you can't talk to me. And you're an absolute stranger. You can't talk to me like that. Who are you to me? My mom doesn't talk to me like that. Who do you think you are? You're going to run up on me and talk to me like that. Like I said, I had to deal with the other guy, the snitch. His boss is the guy who hired our entire company. You know what that dude does when he walks by me? Because his top guy said that guy ran up on me and said not to snitch to you to him 100%. And him and the guy who owns the company I work for, they all drink beers together. What do you think everybody treats me like? Hey, what's up? What's up? I'm not saying they're terrified of me, but they know not to run up on me with no goofy. They all know that. They know for an instant that I will I'll blow up in their face. You ain't gonna run up on me like that, and I'll leave this job any day. I'll work for myself. I don't need to work. So, dude, that confidence, that's only gonna come from a lack of fear in all environments. I have to say that fighting probably gave me that more than anything else. Isn't sinful? Yeah. But what am I gonna do? Am I gonna tolerate that? Bro, I ain't tolerating that. I mean, if you want to tolerate that and you're going to let that happen, and you're going to let that type of lifestyle fly and let people just run all over you. Okay. All right. Let me know how that works for you in life. People don't respect that. You know, you want to try and move up in the world. You can't speak up for yourself. Let's say you take the non-business route. You want to try and not work for yourself. You want to work for you want to work in a company and work your way up to the top. If your boss sees that he can just run you over, do you think he's going to give you a job of authority? If he sees that anybody who comes along, client or customer or coworker, can run you over, do you think he's going to promote you? Promote you to what? Yeah, maybe he'll give you a pay raise, but you're not going to be some section head. That's the guy everybody can run over. No confidence. No, you're afraid of conflict. You're not going to make it in life, man. You ain't going to make it in life. So, you know, you got to be able to set boundaries. And sometimes those boundary setting, it has to be hard. And let me ask you this. If you can't set hard boundaries with people at times, then what are you doing at that job? People are going to run you over. You're going to be miserable. People are going to disrespect you. What? What are you talking about here? Dude, I don't know what you're talking about here. I watched all your videos on conflict with you, bro. While I no hate, just wanted to ask and learn more. You said you flirt with women outside of marriage. What? To see more damn. No, I didn't say that, dude. See, now you're just making stuff up. Nah, don't go from like making a donation to like just being like somebody I dislike. All right, drop the video link. We're here live. This is what I mean by setting boundaries. Nahid, drop the link. Drop the link to the video. Open up another tab. Drop the link where I said that. This is what I mean. Like I said, boundaries. Even with you people on the internet. What are you talking about? Drop the link to that video where I said that. Go ahead. I'll wait. I'm going to deal with other questions, but drop that link. If not, bro, thank you for the £1, but I might have to ban you from the channel just because you're coming on here talking goofy. Drop the link to the video. Proof is in the pudding. If you're speaking the truth, drop it. Just ridiculous. Ridiculous. You just can't come over here talking crazy stuff, man. Come on, man. Jazakallah, find it for me. Man, I talk about this a lot. Where do you think we should find women online? I don't think you should find women online. I think it's an evil of our time. I think some people do it. I think it's a necessity for some people, but I don't think you should. If you come from, and I'll say this again, I say it like 100 times. If you come from like a community, an Islamic community, a Muslim community, or family, then go through your community and go through your family. Go through a masjid. Don't go through online. Online is for guys who, unfortunately, like myself, I prefer not to go online, where it's like, one, you come into the Muslim world and then you've got nothing but just a bunch of racist wankers, and let's just be real. The ummah is filled to the brim with racist wankers, who automatically think you're some sort of gangster, gangbanger, or whatever else, or you only became Muslim so you could have more than one woman, and all that stupid crap you hear. And I talked about this in that video where I said people's cultures are stupid. And this comes from their stupid cultures, that belief in that ideology, that a person will accept Islam to get married to multiple women instead of like purposes of worshiping Allah alone without any partners or equals. Whatever. I mean, I don't even know how stupid you have to be to believe that. So if you have a community and you have, a family, go through them. But if you don't, and you're like me and you're a revert and people are just hating you because whatever, or they dislike you because of whatever, then you use online. And then even then, I would say don't do it if you're a revert and you have a community. I'm in the middle of nowhere. I'm in the armpit of Germany. There's literally just no Muslims around me, or there's very few. And so online becomes that resource. But if you're in a community, like when I was in London, I didn't use online really. I used it passively, but it wasn't like something I was actively on. Don't use online, man. Use your community. Just stay off of there, bro. That online stuff is a mess. It's a mess, bro. I would say stay the heck off of there. And automatically, are there good sisters on there? Absolutely. There's good sisters on there. I've married some of them. Still married to them. But bro, is work. That's why I wrote a whole vetting guide, because it's work. And the crap you have to go to actually find or go through to find those good sisters. I don't know if it's worth it. I just don't. I just can't. I can't put my my full backing behind it. It's like I don't even know if it's a necessity, but let's just call it an evil necessity of our time, for lack of a better term. Yeah, absolutely, right there. It says easy to interpret something flirting with strange women. It's true, bro. People they like. We all know that, internet Islam likes to attack me anyway. Internet Muslims, they just make stuff up. I mean, we've seen this on Twitter where guys would actually go out on Twitter. Dudes would actually use a tweet emulator to make fake tweets saying that I tweeted this and I tweeted that. Literally, dudes out there making fake tweets. I mean, I'm not making takfir, but it's hard to say that a person who would do this believes in Allah and his messenger and the last day, that Yom Qiyamah is real. It's hard to believe that. And you got Muslims out there doing this stuff. So it's like, then you got a guy who'll come along and then say something like this. I can't imagine that you actually watched my videos and came to that conclusion. I don't know where a person would come to so you had to hear this from somebody else and then came here, but okay, fine, whatever. Walaikum assalam, his. Man, we got 2 minutes. I hope he finds the video. Nahid, if you find that video, drop it to me on Twitter, man. Because I'm not gonna stay on here all night. My family's got rights over me, and they, I got work to do. I'm working on other guides and whatnot, so I can't be on here all night. But yeah, sure, I don't mind if you have another question. Muhsin. I had another question, if you don't mind. Nowadays, a lot of these women want to work in the workforce. I'm sure many men wouldn't want that. What do you think about women working? I'm not a fan of it. I'm not a fan of a woman working. puts a woman in a masculine frame, makes her like very difficult, very rough, very coarse going out into the world, having to deal with the world and, the environment that she's in. Even if it's just dealing with dudes trying to hit her on all the time, it puts her in like a very aggressive and masculine frame. It's not something that I think a woman should do. I think the work world is actually something for a man. Our sister's going to disagree with that. Absolutely. I don't think they should be out there. It's too much fitna. I've never worked in a place where I paid attention to the environment and there hasn't been like some dude and some girl in there like having a haram relationship. I've never worked in a company that hasn't had that. I'm sure if I pay attention where I'm at right now on a construction site, there's probably some sort of goofy stuff going on with the very few women that come around there also. I've just never seen it. And so why would you want to put your women, or why would you want your woman in that environment? So I personally wouldn't want it, Yeah. Yeah, that's true. The ulama advise against women working. Should we vet these women outright? It should be a question, her intentions on after getting married. What's her intentions? Do you want to keep working? How do you feel about like a home business? Give her something to do. If she's a woman who like feels like she seems like she's driven, give her a home business. My wife does a lot of stuff here from the house, she has a college degree. My wives are all college educated. All my wives have degrees. I don't have degrees. I think they all have degrees. I have to ask. I know 2 for sure do. So, yeah, they're educated, put them to work. Put them to work for you. Put them to work for themselves. Their trades, their skills, their abilities, they can always be put to work from home. And you'll probably make more money. She'll probably make more money from home than she will actually, out in the workforce. So yeah. Yes, absolutely. She works for Abuamerican Corp, and it's very good. Alhamdulillah. I agree. Men only marry working women due to pressure from feminist liberalism in the West. Yeah, I agree. But it's not something you have to, it's not something you have to accept, so, but men accept it, but you don't have to, make yourself high demand, make yourself high value, and you'll have the say on how the relationship goes, inshallah. Barakallahu Feek, welcome to the channel. Thank you for subscribing. Let's see what we got here. Do you think it's better for me to prefer a woman who did not go to university? There are many such women in my home country. Is it better than a woman who went to university? I mean, now we're talking about personal preference, bro. I'm not a fan of university in terms of the free mixing. That free mixing, bro, I've never seen it turn out well. And the horror stories you hear, both from Muslims and non-Muslims, in terms of like what happens in universities with the women, sometimes these sisters. Yeah, man, that's a tough one to call. I'm not a fan of it. Let's put it like that. I mean, I'm not, so yeah, link it to me there, Nahid, and I'll check it out, because I'm pretty sure this is like a misinterpretation. So anyway, hold on. You might, I don't know if you can actually put links there, Nahid. Yeah. Oops, let me, because I don't know if you can post links in the chat. So anyway, I'm not sure about that, man. I don't know how to call that one. I really don't know. I really don't know what to tell you, bro. I mean, just take your vetting, properly, take it seriously, and, see how it turns out. And if there's some sort of red flags or, bad signs, then you have to take the necessary action and just cut it from, the roster, inshallah. Now, he said found it 3 minutes 20 seconds and I ain't heard nothing else. Like, that's it. Where's this link at? Yeah, but what video now? You got to give me a link, man. What are you talking about? Let's see this, man. Where's the link? I don't see it in the chat. So anyway, I'm ready to go off air. I'm just waiting for Nahid to give me this link so I can watch this video. Sent it where? Where did you send it, Nahid? I don't see it anywhere. It's not in the chat. What's the title of the video? My wife's been in university, so she knows. She said free mixing in university is terrible. So I don't think it has a good effect, on a woman, in my humble opinion. I mean, especially if you went to an all-female university, I think it's, I think then that's fine. But like, women, they get addicted to attention. What is free attention to women is like, and we're talking about social media mostly here, but this could also be like, all right, I'll check it out. Give me a second. So I'll make another video about it, Nahid. So I mean, what is free time and attention to women, be it like in an actual physical environment or actually online, is like what is like pornography to men. It's addicting and it's not good. The effects are bad, but nobody gets on women about their addiction and that bad of free time and attention and how social media is to them. But the society gets on men about pornography. So it's the same equivalent. So if you have a woman who went to university and she's used to this, it's going to be a problem in your relationship later on, guys. But I talk about this in my vetting guide, women, social media, and all these types of things, and the signs to look out for. It's in there. But yeah, well, I got to check it out because I got to check out the context here. Nahed, I'm not going to block you, man, but I got to check out the context here because I'm pretty sure you've misunderstood something there. Because I don't advocate flirting with women. So yeah. Anyway, we'll deal with this Sharia defense and enforcement, and then I'm going to sign off for today, guys. Apple Future Trunks, save for Friday show. Friday evening, maybe about like an hour later than now, I'm going to be doing a live show, basically just doing like, free answers, questions, whatever else, people asking questions. That's coming up on Friday. Channel members will have priority, of course. They know this from like, channel membership. I put a post up about it. I gave my email. They can send me questions ahead of time. And I'll be doing that on Friday. So send me that on Friday, bro, and we'll go over it on the show on Friday. But I'm going to deal with this last one, then I'm going off here. Many women in my family have been spoiled by university. Sheikh Fauzan, Habibullah, said that many divorces happen in Saudi Arabia due to women's ego boost through their career and studies. Absolutely. And it's not to say that you don't want a woman, like, some downtrodden woman or whatever else. But, at the same time, it's like, it's a real problem, dude. It's a real problem. Now, all right, guys, thanks for tuning in. We'll catch you guys. Next show is Halal Bad Boys on Thursday, inshallah ta'ala. Barakallahu feekum for tuning in for for OG Logic, and we'll see you guys on the next episode or the next live. I'm out.